Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
If you have some philosophic objection to being immunized, you can file an exemption on that basis. And that number has gone up quite a bit in the last 10 years.
Objections are up and the number of vaccinations down, part of research being discussed in Fargo. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. Andrea has the evening off. Some of that research looks into the impact that declining vaccinations can have on our community. Valley News Team's Cornelius Hawker has our story.
We have susceptible communities to outbreaks of disease, and we need to get that threshold back up.
Dr. Paul Carson is a professor in NDSU's Public Health Department. He's leading a study looking into the falling vaccination rates of students in North Dakota for diseases like measles and pertussis.
We have increasing numbers of people who are going through the motions to exempt their children from being immunized, to get around or get out of the school immunization requirements.
Carson says it's not a crisis yet, and the main reason the vaccination rates are falling have much to do with the population increase in western North Dakota.
Get to the doctor, parents to take the time off from work. We don't have people. A lot of those situations aren't where they're opposed to vaccination. It's just getting the job done.
We as parents in the developed world don't really see these diseases happen often enough to really be afraid of them.
Daniel Pinnick is a public health student. She says the conversation to vaccinate your child should happen with your child's pediatrician and not on social media, where information is sketchy at best.
I have colleagues that have practiced medicine in places like East Africa or the Asian subcontinent that are startled by the fact that we turn life-saving vaccines down.
When we get enough people immunized, a disease really can't get a foothold in the community. But when we start chipping away at that and chipping away at that and chipping away at that, we allow enough susceptible individuals in that the disease can get into a community and cause outbreaks. And we're there in North Dakota.
Cornelius Hawker, Valley News Live.
Carlson adds that enforcing the current vaccination laws would help stop the falling rates of vaccinations, but that's left up to school district. He points out to the Grand Forks public school system being one of the best in the state in staying on top of their students' vaccinations. Look for more on this story on valleynewslive.com and more events that are taking place at NDSU for Public Health Week. The wind continues throughout most of the valley, and for some of you, the day has included snow. Let's get to Hutch for the latest on what Tuesday evening will be like. Hutch?
Well, for most of us, things are quieting down heading into the evening hours, even warming up in our North Dakota counties. The snow beginning to exit out into the arrowhead of Minnesota, where the northern shore is seeing some showers of snow. Still a little bit showing up on radar in Hubbard County. And Bemidji points south. Look at this, near 70 degrees, Aberdeen and parts of central South Dakota, 50s through the southern Red River Valley, and as cool as those 30s right now in Bemidji. Here's what it looks like on I-29 near Pembina. A little bit of a wet scene there, but this is a white scene, northern Beltrami County. Your planning forecast shows a lot of those 40s for the remainder of our evening. We should stay dry and the wind not too bad. A little bit of everything in the forecast for tomorrow, including some snow, some sleet, some wind, and yes, some thunder as well. I'll spell it all out in a minute.
Challenging and interesting, to say the least.
Yes, variability.
Right. Thanks, Hutch. Fargo police have seized 150 pieces of evidence in a search warrant that led to the arrest of a 23-year-old man on drug charges. That includes an AK-47, a modified AR-15, heroin, fentanyl, marijuana, LSD, ecstasy, codeine, oxycodone, and other drugs, all with what's believed to be nearly 1,000 rounds of ammunition. And it was this man, John Eiton, who police say was dealing. Eiton's arsenal and drugs were seized from an apartment within 1,000 feet of Roosevelt Elementary in North Fargo, an area shown inside this shaded area. We talked with people in that neighborhood today who all say the same thing. It's dangerous. Crime is on the rise there, and it's frightening to have those kinds of weapons and that amount of drugs on their streets.
Just this part of Fargo has been kind of going downhill. I really don't know why. Sometimes I feel pretty unsafe.
Police are investigating any possible links to the recent drug overdoses in the Fargo-Moorhead area. If you filled up at Fleet Farm Gas Mart during mid-March, you're going to want to check your credit or debit card statements. Fleet Farm employees discovered a card skimmer on a pay-at-the-pump gas pump on March 14th. Surveillance video showed a dark SUV pulling up and opening the pump. during the early morning hours of March 12th, 13th, and 14th. Authorities say it's likely the people involved were retrieving stolen data nightly and then going back to a Fargo hotel to clone it. 4 people, all from Kentucky, have been arrested for criminal conspiracy. Police say they may be involved in a multi-state skimming operation currently under investigation by federal authorities. And police tell us 2 of these men are also accused of using cloned credit and debit cards at the Dilworth Walmart. A Native American religious practice is raising eyebrows on the University of North Dakota campus. There's been some concern that the practice of smudging is being used to cover the smell of marijuana use. Valley News Team's Neil Carlson met with some students who want to clear the air.
Smudging is a Native American religious practice of burning sage, sweetgrass, or tobacco to cleanse the spirit, much like incense is used by Catholics and several other religions.
So this is what we call smudging. This is the act of it. You take the smoke and you put it on your body and you're getting ready. So you're basically praying that all of the negativity goes away. This is a way to cleanse yourself.
Finley says there have recently been some false accusations and misunderstandings about smudging that have been floating around campus. One of those accusations is that smudging is used to cover the smell of marijuana use.
Because these sacred medicines are actually not allowed to be around alcohol and drugs, and so people typically aren't using those things when they have these things in their home.
UND regulations allow the practice of smudging basically all over campus except classrooms. Finley says there have been enough misconceptions going around, they reached out to another UND group to help set the record straight.
The American Indian Student Services has asked a group of nursing students to get the word out about smudging. It's a spiritual practice that incorporates burning of different herbs for spiritual practice.
And it's caused a few different false accusations to students and families that live here on campus.
Finley says it's hoped this on-camera demonstration will help eliminate some cultural misunderstandings. In Grand Forks, Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
If you'd like to learn more about smudging, a free public demonstration is going to be held at UND's Wellness Center at 5:30 in the afternoon on Sunday. If you are among the homeowners still dealing with sticker shock over recent property value increases, you've got a chance to make your opinion known to the city. A Fargo City Board of Equalization meeting is slated for next Tuesday, April 12th at 7:30 in the morning at Fargo City Hall. This is a chance for homeowners to state their case if they feel the value set for their property is unfair. And if that sounds like you, they recommend notifying the Fargo Assessment Department before the meeting. April is National Donate Life Month. It's an opportunity to celebrate our country's organ and tissue donors. At Sanford Hospital today, they honored donor heroes and they tried to inspire more people to become donors. Personal stories were shared by organ donors and their families, underscoring how organ donation has helped. A flag was raised to honor organ donors and recipients.
It's wonderful. You know, this is a great time where we can celebrate and bring awareness to organ and tissue donation. It's a good time of the year when we can do that. That's why we love the month of April.
Now, coming up on Valley News Live 10 at 10, we're going to hear from a North Dakota family that was impacted by organ donation. Most of us probably have or want to have the little stash of extra cash. For one reason or another, however, a lot of us don't. Well, today the North Dakota Veterans Affairs Department got some of that cash to help vets in need. It came from the staff at the First Community Credit Union. About $4,500 was raised for what is called the Support Our Veterans Fund. That money is helping vets in a pinch who may not otherwise have the cash for something like a rent deposit or maybe medical bills.
This amount might help 1 or 2 veterans, or it might help 10, 20, 30, depends on what their needs are. It's anything from $50 to $5,000 for something very serious for a veteran. And we try to keep it a one-time thing for veterans, not a return next month and we'll help you again. We like to find a solution. It's for emergent needs that were unexpected.
The credit union employees raised the money with chili cook-offs, an auction, and other events. In addition to the cash, they also visited veterans at the VA in Fargo, Lisbon, and other locations throughout the state. Are you hungry? Later on Valley News Live at 6, some of the new foods that'll be served at the Twins ballpark this season.
Clouds delivered rain, sleet, and even snow to portions of the valley. As we headed through the midday hours, it was pretty bleak, but we've seen some improvement across the region as we've headed into the evening. More ups and downs in your forecast for tomorrow. Details are straight ahead.